Now, for those of you who don't know out there, the ASX 200, that's essentially the Australian index or a measurement of Australia's largest 200 companies. And it sort of gives an indication as to where the Australian market's at from a stocks perspective. Now, since that 36% drop, it's risen to approximately 6,000 points, which is a rise of 32%. We'll look at some individual companies because I know you like to buy individual companies. Let's look at one of Australia's market darlings, CSL. Went from a top of 341 down to 282, dropped 17%. 4 months later, hasn't changed. Still at 282, hasn't risen a dollar. Look at NAB. NAB dropped from $27 all the way down to nearly just below $14, dropped 48%. Since then, has risen to about $18, $19, risen about 34%. We'll go even further. So we'll look at a mining company. So BHP, which a lot of people know, went from 41 down to 25. So dropped about 15%. And then it's risen to 38. So risen, that's a 52% climb. Macquarie Group. Macquarie Group really got smashed during this period, dropped from 151 to 72. It's a drop of 52%. Then in the next 4 months, it's risen to 124. That's an increase of 72%. Now, these are massive levels of volatility. A lot of these companies, some are back to par, pre-COVID level. Others are close to, others are far off. But can you give us some insights from a professional's perspective? What's been happening to the Australian market during COVID?
Yeah, look, it's been, in my 24 years, it's been I haven't seen anything like this. We've seen similar, down cycles and situations, but, this situation is worse than the GFC. And unfortunately, it's really touching on so many people, so many people's lives and businesses. Unlike the GFC, where I think really it was a financial financial markets real issue mostly. Yep. This one is really much different and much tougher, and it's really hard for people in the market. I don't need to probably labour the point. There's been heaps written on everything that's gone on. It's been remarkable. The fastest bear market has given way to the quickest bull market, leaving us in a situation now where it's a very, as you say, well, here we are back at some of these stocks at par. But you'd have to look out at the operating environment for a lot of these stocks and say, well, hang on, is the environment better or worse than pre-COVID? And clearly the operating environment is worse. So it's quite a tricky period for an investor. And it also goes to show just how, not doing anything can sometimes be the best strategy. And a lot of what we did in the fund was really during March 23, when the market hit the bottom, we were adding to our core positions we liked back then, and not doing much else really. And that's proven to be, I think the correct strategy.
Yeah, I think I was reading something the other day that if you were to sell out close to the bottom or even halfway down, and you didn't buy back in, you lose so many of your losses for the next few years. And as to your stat before, if you're out for 20 of the up days in a year, you're probably going to make a loss.